Hey everybody, I'm Natalie Bencivenga, host of 5 Minutes With. And today, once again, I am partnering with the World Affairs Council of Pittsburgh, and we are going all the way to sunny Colombia, which is having way better weather than we are here. But I'm super excited, more importantly, for you to meet my guest. He is an artist and educator. His name is Felipe Ginebra. Did I say that okay, Felipe?
Very good, very good.
So thank you so much for joining us. So can you tell everybody here in Pittsburgh what it's like living in Colombia? What was it like to grow up there?
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Well, I think here I love be growing up here in Colombia because it feels very free to be yourself. Uh, Obviously, there's a lot of things that are not sometimes in that synchronicity, but sometimes you can be just yourself and do whatever you want to do. So that's a good part of being of being here in Colombia. I was born in Bogota, the capital, the main city. Mostly of the year is very cold.
Yeah.
So so maybe I moved here to the Caribbean of my own country because I was looking like the sunny side of life. And I was also looking for my roots because I lived and I grew up in a big city. Bogota is a huge city, and I left the city looking for my backgrounds, my roots, the feelings of who I am.
And being who you are has really influenced your work. And identity is a topic that you like to play with and discuss in your art. Can you talk a little bit about how that interplays with the work that you do?
Yes. That's a topic that always is in my mind all the time. And actually, most of my work it's the creation of characters,
Mm-hmm.
like alter egos. I
Mm-hmm.
do that in my work and also in education. I always sometimes in those workshops that I do, I make the people create an alter ego of themselves, and I help them do it. So that's like a has been a good way to me to explore the this path that I chose, that is like awakening the creativity of people, because here in Colombia education is not very very as is supposed to be ideal. So some or majority of people, they don't have contact with any kind of art or any kind of development of the creative side. So I play with the change of identity to make people like break that jail, because sometimes I see identity as a type of jail that you build yourself. Like you think that you are something, but that don't let you change.
Mm-hmm.
So I always try to play with that, and I play that sometimes with just one person, that I change his identity or her identity and take a picture, or sometimes I do it in groups.
So when we're talking, and I think this is fascinating. So when you're talking about the idea of identity and reconnecting with something else that lives inside of us, how does this come through in the art that you create? For example, the piece behind you,
Okay, this piece,
which I love.
thank you. I think it's very interesting that you say the word peace,
Mm-hmm.
because I see always my like my creative process. It's like finding pieces of stories.
Mm-hmm.
So this piece that we have here behind me, it's a piece of cloth there's a picture of a wall in a neighborhood here in Colombia, and it's a house of somebody that I find is very beautiful, the way that he painted the house with with Colombian flag.
Mm-hmm.
And I take this texture, and I stop it in time, and I keep it for me forever to do other works, like to put some characters, uh, like faking these scenarios, pieces of Colombia, the Colombia that I see with beauty, even if the place is not the place uh, that some regular people see as beautiful, but I can see beauty in it.
I love that. And when you're talking about these themes that may not be perceived as beautiful, one of them is death. And I know that you like to talk and work with this theme and live with it and be with it in a way that maybe makes it more accessible. Is that a fair statement?
Yes, yes, and it has to be like with a little story of myself too, because my dad died a few years ago, and I had this encounter with death,
Mhm.
um, and it makes me realize that here in Colombia we are afraid to talk about death.
Mm.
So I think
Us in the United States too.
maybe in a lot of
It's
parts of the
everywhere.
world. And so, but I live in Barranquilla, and here we have the biggest carnival in Colombia. And when I came here, one of the things that I fell in love with is the relationship with death that I was changing for myself at that time, because I was thinking, I don't have to see death this way. Death is just a change.
Mm.
So I started like putting this subject on the table all the time, but as a way that I could see the carnival, because the carnival was trying to make something out of fun, like putting like more a little bit of weight on the other side of the darkness of the death, because that's the thing that the people don't want to see. So maybe we can picture ourselves dancing with the death, or drinking with death, and and this carnival imagery that you can see it in carnival. You can see it if you come. You're welcome, and you will see death dancing on the street, and devils and a lot of things. That is the dark side, but you are getting friend with it,
Mm-hmm.
because that is the only certain thing that we have, and human has to have a good relationship with death, even if he likes it or not. So
That's
I
right.
think I talk about death. I want to talk about death, and it's not in the in the bad way. It's in a it is Death is a part of us. So I work with that image of death, and I think it's a good start.
No, I agree. And it's something that connects us all. And I actually lost my father as well last year. And so I've been looking at death as sort of this thing that just kind of sits on your shoulder and you better make peace with it because it's not going
Right.
anywhere. And so I can really understand when you were talking about the weighing of it and the experience of it. And I think that's what's so fascinating about art and artists is being able to look at something and find the connections, find the humanity. And so when you think about the implications that your work has, not only for the people of Colombia, but really around the world, how important is it to use art as a way to connect to one another, especially in the world that we're existing in right now, where everything seems fairly divided up?
Yeah, you're right. I think it's a very like this is very difficult in art. I think is because you have to be beyond language.
Yeah.
I think
Mm-hmm.
because art has to go through all those walls and go straight to your heart.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not easy. So I think the artist, for me as an artist, that's like all my work of all these things is trying to move people's hearts, because we are robotizing ourselves. We are going the other way. So I think uh, that's I try. I know I never promise that I'm gonna do it, but I'm trying all the time. Sometimes I do it. so so I think that's the part that artists have to deal with, because I don't know, I call it like go through language or speak all languages at the same time, like trying to go through all those and make feel somebody something different. And maybe the images of Colombia have this magical realism
Mm-hmm.
that is very true. It's like I want to show, in this case, in the event, I want to show people how vitality feels.
Mm.
Because vitality is when you're connected with nature, with the land, with your rhythms,
Mm.
and people, and most of people here nowadays are disconnected with that. So I want to make them feel things. So I think that's the word. It's not even just in the colors of the shapes. It's just most in this trying to the trying.
Hmm. Yes. And as we wrap up this 5 minutes, although I could definitely spend a lot longer talking to you, that's for sure. Can you give some advice for up and coming artists or young artists? How can they utilize their creativity to feel more connected? What advice would you give them?
Well, I would like to give them some advice that helped me a lot. Is don't think that your art is your materials.
Mm.
It's time to change materials, because we are hurting the earth. Like, even if I know how to paint with some materials, but if those materials I'm going to hazard somebody, I'm going to make some damage. I need to start exploring. That's why creativity is for. Not just, it's like, artists need to change the places where they buy their materials, the ways they dispose their materials, or they throw their materials to earth again.
Mm.
Because things are so beautiful, but it's just all made out of plastic, and then
Mm.
you make this set, design this big set, and then you throw all that materials away. That's an impact that you're doing. So artists are called to review their processes, to not just like the results of the beautiful piece. You just how's the process. How are you using your materials? Where are you throwing that away if you're washing your brushes? I don't know, a lot of things that you need to think.
No, I think that's excellent advice. And I hope we can connect again soon. I so enjoyed this. And thank you so much for spending a little more than 5 minutes with me.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
No, it's amazing. Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Natalie. Thank you. Gracias.
Gracias.